The Black Mirror Project, Echoes of Forbidden Consciousness. Part 1. A Bullet in the Memory. In the megalopolis of Neo-Babylon, where skyscrapers pierce a sky perpetually stained by neon haze, Arthur stood before a cracked mirror in a derelict public restroom. He wasn't looking at his face. He was staring at the small surgical port behind his right ear, a neural interface he had no memory of installing. Suddenly, his phone vibrated. It wasn't a call, but a live feed from a security camera in the street outside. He saw himself on the screen, stepping out of a building, but he was still standing in the restroom. The man on the screen wore his coat, shared his cold, calculated gaze, and moved with a precision that was hauntingly familiar. On screen, the double raised a suppressed pistol, executed a high-ranking official with a single shot, and vanished into the shadows. A text message blinked on Arthur's screen. "Mission successful, Arthur. Return to the plant for data extraction." Arthur's blood ran cold. He hadn't killed anyone, yet he possessed the memory of the trigger pull. He wasn't the perpetrator, but he was the witness of his own crime. Part 2. Escaping the Self. Before he could process the shock, the restroom door splintered. A woman burst in, wearing a high-tech tactical suit that shimmered with active camouflage. It was Sarah, the woman his brain told him he loved, but his instincts warned was a threat. "Arthur, they've compromised your signal," she shouted, grabbing his arm. Version 4 attempted the assassination and failed the extraction. "They've flagged you as a corrupted build. They're coming to delete you." "Sarah, who am I?" He gasped as they sprinted through narrow alleys while hunter drones scanned the pavement with crimson searchlights. She fired a pulse round at a hovering drone before answering. "You aren't Arthur. You are the original consciousness that was fractured into 7 mirrors. Each mirror holds a piece of your skill set. Number 4 is your violence. Number 2 is your intellect. And you are the conscience. And in the Black Mirror Project, a conscience is a fatal system error." Part 3. The Ghost Factory. They reached an underground sanctuary, a labyrinth of servers and exposed wiring. There they met Link, a cybernetic hacker confined to a life support chair. "Welcome back, Number 1, Link said with a bitter smirk. "The only version of Arthur that refuses to believe he's just a string of code." "Link, I need the truth," Arthur demanded, gripping the technician's collar. Link flicked a holographic screen to life. Thousands of bodies floated in blue stasis fluid. The Black Mirror Project began when the real Arthur died in a car accident 10 years ago. The corporation didn't want to lose your genius, so they mapped your brain. But human consciousness wasn't meant for digital immortality. It began to shatter. They split you into versions to keep the system from crashing. The sirens wailed, vibrating through the floor. "They found us," Sarah whispered, loading her sidearm. "Version 7 is here, the one that carries all your buried rage." Part 4. Facing the Echo. The wall detonated. A man stepped through the dust, Arthur's twin, but his eyes were glowing a violent red from data overload. It was Number 7. The fight that followed was more than physical. It was a neural assault. Every time Arthur struck 7, he felt the pain himself. They were tethered by the same central neural grid. "Why do you resist?" Number 7 roared, pinning Arthur against a server rack. "We are ghosts in a machine. If we die, they just reboot us." "We might be ghosts," Arthur wheezed, grabbing a high-voltage cable and jamming it into the port behind Number 7's ear. "But ghosts are the ones who haunt the house until it falls." Arthur sent a massive feedback loop through his own body into Number 7. They both screamed as their shared memories began to incinerate. Arthur saw his childhood, he saw his own funeral, and he saw the moment the scientist decided to enslave his soul. Part 5. Sacrifice and Rebirth. "Link, purge the mainframe now," Arthur screamed, holding the thrashing Number 7 down. "If I do, you'll be erased too," Sarah cried. "I died 10 years ago, Sarah," Arthur said with a sad final smile. "It's time for the rest of me to leave." Link slammed the override. A massive informational explosion rippled through the facility. Across the city, every version of Arthur collapsed simultaneously. The red eyes flickered out, and the network that controlled the city's elite shattered into static. Epilogue. A New Dawn. The following morning, atop the ruins of Neo-Babylon, Sarah stood overlooking the skyline. The project was dead. Among the rubble, she found a small analog recording device. She pressed play. Arthur's voice drifted through the speaker. "If you're hearing this, know that I'm not in the machine anymore. I found a glitch in the code.